Molson Canadian Rocks presents The Big Ticket.
Tonight.
I could never get that piano riff in Bus Rider if I didn't have this.
Burton Cummings, Plus Signs Plus, tonight on The Big Ticket.
Disneyland. You up for it? No, not up for Disneyland, but we do give taxi vouchers to send you home. Okay. Is that good? Huh? Is this a hell of a gig or what? Woo! What is this? Did you mean it? Yeah, I did. Okay. Let me tell you what we're going to do then. We're going to take some short snippets, firstly, of different things. Okay. So we'll do a bit of Bus Rider first. Then we're going to rehearse. We're going to polish up, refine the vocals of Share the Land, correct? We're going to check the vocals of No Sugar Tonight, see how it is. Play some of those things. Check free maybe for guitar things. We'll just check everything. Make sure that the little points that are sticking out are no longer sticking out. Everything sounds pretty good. What the Guess Who did was give hope to that little kid in Kapuskasing or Thunder Bay or Athabasca or Red Deer or Moose Jaw or Moosomin. When that kid knew and then heard something like These Eyes or American Woman or Share the Land or Hand-Me-Down World, Bus Rider, Rain Dance, dozens and dozens of songs, he knew that that was a band from Winnipeg, that a remote prairie town surrounded by thousands of miles of wheat fields. He knew then that he had a chance. And I'm also very proud of the musical legacy because we are singing on this tour Hand-Me-Down World and Bus Rider and Share the Land, and these songs are 20 years old, and yet the spirit doesn't sound 20 years old to me. The lyrics still make sense, they're still pertinent.
Have you been around? Have you done your share of coming down on different things that people do? Have you known their names? How can you possibly forget the words to your own song? It happens. It happens. Okay? Again.
While Burton and the band get in their last licks, MuchMusic takes you to the Orpheum Theatre in downtown Vancouver. They're just starting to take their seats, but by the time we come back, the house will be full and the band will be ready to rock. From the Orpheum Theatre, it's Burton Cummings, Plus Signs Plus on the MuchMusic Big Ticket.
How did you come up with a list of songs that would satisfy everybody, yourself included? Firstly, I sat down and spoke to Lorne, my manager, Lorne Safer, about this, and he kept telling me, you got to give them what they really want to hear, but without it becoming a big bubblegum night of nothing but 4-minute singles, you know, which I wanted to avoid too. So we talked about the stuff historically through the years that has worked best live. My first plan at the practices was to learn most of the new album, and that would get us familiar with each other as players, and then from there we could play the stuff that everyone kind of heard before, because everyone in the band knew These Eyes and American Woman and No Time, you know, some of the big Guess Who stuff. But I wanted to make the new stuff sound good first. We just structured it so it was a nice balance of old and new, but everything coming off the stage should have some kind of grit, some kind of credibility to it. After all these years and all these albums, I just want people to go home thinking, that guy means it, you know.
See now, when
Do it again.
Did we get that on film?
When it means nothing, I can do it perfectly. You didn't get that, did you? Well, maybe I can get it. I didn't see any 20s.
Two times.
See? You see what happens? I'm out with a new album. And certainly I don't turn my back on the Guess Who days or my earlier solo stuff, but I'm more excited about the new songs than anything else because, number one, they are new songs, it's a new decade, and I think they're pretty good songs. Okay, you four guys play. I want to see if the balance is anywhere. Okay, if it is, we'll just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit more to think about on Plus Signs. There's a little more to ingest. These songs, they're written in mind as kind of a musical diary of what things plague me and what bothers me and what makes me happy and what I'm concerned with and what I'm thinking about. Sounds pretty strong to me. Just kidding. Dot and doodads once, okay? Coming up. Go. It's all yours.
know when I came back last time, I stood like I lost a friend. He was calling 'cause the sky is falling and I'm getting pretty near the end. Smoke-filled room in a corner basement, situation gotta be right. Bag of goodies and a bottle of wine, we're gonna get it on right tonight, 'cause it's a new Mother Nature taking over. It's a new splendid lady from the car. It's a new Mother Nature taking over. She's giving us all. She's giving us all. Lonely feeling, yes, and I believe in every time I see. There's another people the guts to leave, and when they're standing in each other's way. You drift them down to places you've been to, you wonder what you're gonna find. It may be wrong, but it won't be long before you leave them all far behind. 'Cause it's the new Mother Nature taking over. She's a new splendid lady from the car. It's a new Mother Nature taking over. She's getting us all. She's getting us all. Here we go. Sugar, Mother Nature, all right. Bless your hearts, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Song for everyone and anyone who has ever been hurt, and that probably includes all of us at least once. So much all through so many, I just can't believe I could throw it all away. Sometimes late at night, when there's nothing here except my piano, almost give my hands to make you see my way. Oh! Stand tall, don't get more. For God's sake, don't go do something foolish. All you're feeling right now is silly human pride. Don't you fall. I don't do something you might regret later. Feeling it like everyone. It's silly human fight. Never lasted so long. Through so much or through so many, no. I just can't believe I could throw it all away. Sometimes late at night, when there's nothing here except my old piano, almost give my hands to make you see my way. Oh! Stand tall, don't you fall. Ah, for God's sake, don't do something foolish. Oh, you're feeling right now, silly, you've been fine. You got me down on my knees, baby. Stand tall, don't you fall. Ah, for God's sake, don't do something you regret later. You're feeling it like everyone. Silly, you've been Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
More songs from Plus Signs, and Burton talks about the Guess Who when we return to the MuchMusic Big Ticket.
I carried with me on the road a 7.5-foot Steinway grand piano for 15 years. I was hated by every road crew in North America, from Texas back up to Manitoba. They all knew, oh, here comes the guy with the white piano, great. Better get another 12 guys. So the reason I kept carrying the Steinway for so many years, they just hadn't invented something that could take the place of the piano. And even carrying it and dismantling it every night and taking the pedals out and putting the legs back on and tuning it every day, it still didn't get me up volume-wise where the guitar players were. Finally, about 3 years ago, Jack Price showed me this setup, Yamaha KX88, full 88 keys, just like a grand piano, with one specific module, one of those ones in the Tower of Shame over there. I could never get that piano riff in Bus Rider if I didn't have this. Cerebral World was inspired by Stephen Hawking. He's the foremost mind of the 20th century, but yet he's in a withered, crippled body, trapped by motor neuron disease. And every day he stays alive, he's making medical history. And I read a book about him called Stephen Hawking's Universe, written by a fellow named John Boslow. And I was truly inspired and truly driven not to complain so much about my own problems. I sat down and realized that Hawking has no body left to speak of. His world has become entirely cerebral. So thought is really his life force now, and that's really where the song came from.
Cars rust, stars grow cold and die. Machines break and humans cease to try. Mountains erode and buildings collapse, and I fall prey to the many traps all around me. They confound me. Cerebral world, triumph for the will. I must fight for plus sign, overcome, kill. Cerebral world, village of the main. I must search for new clues for my space and time. No grasp, no symmetry, no right. Prison points in human time. Order rides the rumors down. Entropy will chase the crown all around me. It can hound me. Cerebral
I just happen to have here, because just in case you didn't think I was here, I'm here, okay, with Burton. He's the guy. I got your bag here, Burton. Now,
my cards.
Whip it out, whip it out. What, you're a collector of all sorts of things.
I am a collector, and I happen to have some
Of course, now, you
gems
know,
here
before
today.
you became a collector, they would have called you a pack rat like me.
Well, yeah. This is cardboard gold, ladies and gentlemen. I have about a third of the set here, of a set called Hit Stars. Now let me just dig up some of the early ones here. Here's one of my favorite groups of all time when they were with Atlantic.
Were you listening to this stuff when you were a kid?
I was, yes.
As often as possible?
As
in Winnipeg?
often as possible, and not only that, but my mother had a record collection, and I listened to her 78s way before I went to kindergarten. By the time I was about 4, I could climb up on the chair and crank the old Victrola and get those 78s going. And I always thought to myself, what a great way to make a living, cutting records, you know. I wanted to cut records by the time I was about 6 years old.
There's one of my favorites on the album that has no bass player in it.
You're speaking, of course, of Bridge in Time.
Yes. Okay.
As you can see, there goes Norm Fisher out of here. Go on, get There's out. No bass on Bridge in Time. Go, go.
It might be my favorite song on the album for a bunch of kind of offbeat reasons. Number one, it's really a song about my record collection. There are about a dozen references to songs and records. Oop-Oop-A-Doo by Jesse Hill is mentioned. Bebop-A-Lula. It's about old rock and roll. It's kind of a trip through my record collection.
Southern Moses, Walden Casato, gonna bring you yellow roses. And with all of these wonders come to pass, take a special few and store them in your heart. Yes, with all of these wonders passing through, well, that's a bridge in time. Well, that's a bridge in time. Oh, that's a Phrygian tame. Oh, that's a Phrygian tame. Yes, with all of these wonders come to pass, take the very best of them, store them in your heart. Yes, with all of these wonders passing through. Oh, that's a Phrygian tame. Oh, that's a Phrygian tame. You got Johnny and the Hurricanes, every man seen. 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 Thank you very much. Song for you in the key of B. Those of you with perfect pitch knew that immediately. All those sharps, 5 sharps. Why in the world would I ever write a song in the key of B? Must have been showing off one day for someone who read music. Dead start, tricky one for the boys in the band, short night but a merry one for the boys in the yard. This song enjoyed a long, long ride on the old musical charts. Well, I've never been much for many things. That's why it's all so hard to say that I'm ahead of the years a joke out of insanity. Please, your highness, on a sunny day sometime, can I take your picture in the park with silk and satin on? Star baby, shiny little flashy little two-time and mama singing. Star baby, shiny little flashy little loving machine. I never been much good at keeping secret. Now it's easy for me to say, but I'm a hell of a heel, shook up about the way that you do me. But please, your highness, on a sunny day sometime, can you take me driving, babe? I'll tell you what I'm thinking about you. Star baby, shiny little flashy little two-time mama singing. Star baby, a shiny little flashy little loving machine. On a sunny day sometime, can you take me driving, baby, kissing in your Cadillac? Star baby, shiny little flashy little two-time mama singing. Star baby, a shiny little flashy little loving machine. I want you. Star baby, hey, 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 I don't you wanna love me? Star baby, hey, thank you. Rock and roll, yeah.
What had to happen for you to want to just get up and walk away from the Guess Who in '75, whenever that was?
It was like, I've made the analogy before, and I think it's true. I think it's kind of like a marriage that just ran its course. We got so bored with each other. We had so many personnel changes. We weren't the greatest of friends anymore. And then I guess the final straw, really, and it's not something, I don't want to create this bitter image, but it's something that I remember very, very distinctly. I had written the song I'm Scared while I was still in the Guess Who. Of all the 200-odd songs of mine that have made it to record, I think I'm Scared is one of the best ones, lyrically and musically. I think it's still a very credible song 15 years later. I played it for the guys at practice. And they said, well, it's not bad, Bert, but I don't really think we want to do it. I mean, I said to myself, in my head, at that minute, I quit. At that second, inside my head, I was no longer in the Guess Who. Because that's a great song for my point of view at the time. And yet to have the other three guys in the Guess Who in 1975 tell me that they didn't want to do the song, it's like, I kind of knew it was over then. I think we just all grew apart.
to see St. Thomas on a cold and dreary New York afternoon. Something in the air was oh so rare. I don't know what it was, but I know that it's still right there. I'm scared, Lordy Lord, I'm shaking, I'm petrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough just fell down on my knees. Living in confusion, searching the truth that I never found. I needed something I could really believe. Looking toward the heavens on a dark and stormy winter afternoon. Something in the air was oh so rare. I'm not really sure what it was, but I know for sure that it's still right there now. Just terrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough just fell down on my knees. Whoa, 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 whoa. Scared, I'm shaking, I'm laying awake thinking about it now. Just petrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough would love to hear you call. Come out now, give me a sign, you're listening to me. You hear me talking, you hear me crying, it's confusing to me, Lord, I'm terrified. Never been much on religion, but I sure enough just fell down on my knees. Whoa, 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 whoa.
The catalog of classics continues when Burton Cummings Plus Signs Plus returns from the Orpheum Theatre in Vancouver.
Thank you very much indeed. Could we please have a nice, warm West Coast hand for the boys in the band? Some noise for the boys! Situated on your extreme left on electronic keyboards and guitar and vocals from Houston, Texas, Mr. Jack Price. On lead guitar and vocals from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Joey Brassler. Center of the stage on drums and percussion from Vancouver, British Columbia, Mr. Phil Robertson. On electric bass and vocals from Vancouver, British Columbia, Mr. Norman Fisher. And on your extreme right, on lead guitar and vocals from Vancouver, British Columbia, Mr. Corey Phillips. Well, we'll do some straight-ahead rock and roll for you with absolutely no message and no condescension and no pretense whatsoever, the way rock and roll is meant to be. We encourage the tapping of toe and snapping of finger and shaking of appendage because, after all, music was meant to be fun.
You long love letters, mama, I send them on day by day. I need you now even more than I did before. 'Cause I'm looking at your daddy coming with a big old shotgun. Love it situation I'm mighty poor. So if you're really wondering what I'm doing in your backyard, so soon. If you're really worried about what I'm doing in your backyard, come on out later, I'ma show you about a lot of moon. I had some dreams and fortune ready, lover, I got carried away. I need you now even more than I did before. 'Cause I'm a creeping, hiding, sleeping.
Baby's thinking about you, really like the wonder why I'm standing here crying, honey, looking into your backyard. You worry about nothing, you got nothing on your mind but me. Whatever I've been laying on my back, just thinking about summertime, getting back all the way. Everything I see, darling, reminded me. Come on and get your loving man. Come on and get him while he's you very much, folks. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm going to do another song from the new album for you, my personal favorite song on the album. It's a song about freedom, but it doesn't talk about freedom in Mississippi or freedom in South Africa or freedom in Romania. It talks about freedom in here and in here. Called very simply Free.
Talk of compassion, but it hides from the heart, and it runs like a quarry from a senseless kill. You must find
regrets about things I've done in my life, people that I've offended, people that I haven't treated as fairly as I should have, and remarks made in haste, remarks made in anger. I'm not ready to move to the Himalayas and live on air, you know, and purified water, but I've been a little less than fair with a lot of friends, a lot of people through the years. And I look in the mirror sometimes, it makes me very sad. And Free is advising other people to do what I'm in the process of doing, and that is leave the emotional baggage. Regret is a useless emotion. Yeah, Free is Burton grown up, I think. Free is Burton trying to be grown up. Get it that way. I won't assume that I'm totally mature yet, but I'm trying, you know. I'm trying to be better. I really am. It took me a long, long time. I'm trying.
talk of compassion, but it hides from the heart, and it runs like a quarry from a senseless cue. You must find lessons from the teaching and the learning, and you will walk prouder, 'cause you will be free. Your eyes will be brighter, 'cause you will be free. You can search for a lifetime for the meaning of one word. If you were to pick one word, that word should be free. Thank you very much. Song about a young man who got in too deep with strangers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break it to them gently when you tell my mom and dad. When you see my baby sister, be as kind as you can. Bring it to my grandma, said that boy's wild and bad. Bring it to them gently when you tell them that I won't be coming home again. Because I'm running with a gun and it isn't any fun as a fugitive. Fighting for my life and I don't know if I'll make it alone. Running with a gun and it isn't any fun as a fugitive. Lord, I wanna go home. Lord, I wish I was home. When you see my lady with the twinkle in her eyes, tell her to her softly, hold her if she cries. Tell her that I love her and I will till the day I love her. Tell it to her gently when you tell her that I won't be coming home again. Strangers, thinking they'd be helping me find my way, but nobody warned me of the dangers, and it's always the young and foolish that have to pay. So break it to them gently when you tell my mom and dad. Thank them for the good years and all the loving that I've had. Bring it to my grandma, said that boy's wild and bad. Bring it to them gently when you tell them that I won't be coming home again. Because I'm running with a gun and it isn't any fun as a fugitive.
gonna soothe her. That'll bring it to the gently. Gotta run away. Don't really try to roll. Gotta really try to roll. Roll it to my mother. Roll it to my grandma. Gotta roll the old lady. Roll it to my mother, sister and my brother. Roll the old lady. Roll it to my grandma. She's damn near 80. Roll the old lady. Roll the old lady. Sister, brother, and my sweet grandmother. Roll the old lady. Sweet summertime, tastes like wine. Gonna feel so fine. Roll the old lady. Hey, 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 roll the old lady. Hey, 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 hey. Roll the old lady. Hey, 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 roll the old lady. I didn't know how to love her. I didn't know how to make her happy. Roll the old lady. I didn't know how to love her. Put a sparkle in her eye. No. Roll the old lady. So way back before I had all my troubles, I went to see a very good friend of mine, yeah. Roll the old lady. He told me all you gotta do to make her happy is give her the rock and roll, yeah. Roll the old lady. All you gotta do to make her smile is give her the music, yeah. Roll the old lady. And give her the rock and roll, put a smile on her face, yeah. Roll the old lady. You give her the music, you know well you're gonna put a sparkle in her eye. Put a sparkle in her eye. Roll the old lady. Well, that very night I went to see my baby. I stood there looking at her. Roll the old lady. And I started thinking about the advice my friend gave me that very morning. Yeah. Roll the old lady. I looked at my baby. I started thinking about some of my favorite records I'd ever heard on the radio. The records on the radio, yeah. Roll the old lady. And I started singing to her, put a smile on her face. Roll the old lady. I started singing to my baby, yeah, put a sparkle in her eye. Put a sparkle in her eye, yeah. Roll the old lady. And I know now that was very good advice, because I carry it with me to this very day. I sang Duke, 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 Duke of Earl, gonna show you how to roll the old girl. Sitting in la la, waiting for my ya-ya. Gotta roll the old lady. Little girl, are you mine? I feel so fine. Roll the old lady. Oh, that's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Roll the old lady. Lou-I, oh no, I said we gotta go. Yeah. Roll the old lady. Oh, 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 oh. Dig, if you will, the picture of you and me engaged in a kiss. Another Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody Saturday night, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Roll the old lady. So won't you please, I'm asking, please, please break it to them gently when you tell them that I won't be coming home. Bless your hearts, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And it's now the summer. And thank you all for this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One cloud this morning, was it day or night? Sun and the moon were bright. Take one away. Two holy sisters lost in the desert dry. From the weight the old mule died.
Stay tuned, because no one leaves disappointed. Burton Cummings will return with the finale of Plus Signs Plus on the MuchMusic Big Ticket. Just, in closing?
I'd like to say hi to Winnipeg. Say hi to my mom in Winnipeg and all my old pals from school. I went to a high school reunion about 3 or 4 years ago and rekindled some friendships that had kind of drifted since then. And there's nothing like the friends you had before you got famous, because they know you from before notoriety. And I can't get away with anything with those people, and they're the ones that I'm most comfortable with because nothing is expected of me, So, to my really old friends before the Guess Who.
Time for 1, 2. Have you been around? Have you done your share of coming down? Different things people do. Have you been aware? You've got brothers and sisters who care about what's gonna happen to you any year from now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. Talking about together now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. Talking about together now. Did you pay your dues? Did you read the news this morning when the paper landed in your yard? Do you know their names? Can you play their games without losing track? Coming down a bit too hard. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Say I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. Talking about together now. Say I'll be there to shake your hand. Say I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. We're talking about together now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. Talking about together now. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away when we all live together. Together, together. Take your hand. You don't stand inside to help you if you're worried. No more sadness, no more sorrow, no more bad times. Every day comes sunshine. Every day everybody laughing, walking together by the river now. Good times, good times. Come on along and I'll meet you by the river now. Walking, singing and talking, silent, laughing, loving one another now. Good times, good times. Come on along and I'll meet you by the river now. Walking, singing and talking, silent, yeah. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land. They'll be giving away. We all live together.